Welcome back to Dirty 20, everybody. A member of our community asked a question regarding attunement with magical items, and I thought that this would be a good opportunity to take a look at the topic. So today we're discussing magic items. Let's get on with the show. Magic items play an integral part of fantasy fiction, and the same is true for D&D. Compared to early editions, 5th edition tends to approach magic items with a it's up to you kind of attitude. Basically, you can play the style of magic level that you like, whether it's kind of low magic, gritty stuff, or, magic bonanza with lots of items, except for attunement. This brings us to Double Vision's question regarding attunement and magical items. Attunement. Love or hate it? What's the backstory for why Wizards of the Coast decided to add this rule? I'm on the fence. I think 3 is limiting. I understand not all magic items require attunement, but some listed as requiring it seem lame. Versus powerful items definitely having it, and that makes sense. What are your thoughts on attunement? Do you homebrew it differently or take it rules as written? Well, to answer this question, let's get a little bit into the kind of history of attunement and when it entered the game. Some of you may have played 4th edition, maybe not a lot of you, because it's sometimes maligned edition. It's seen as too much of a kind of war game or almost like a board game. I really enjoy 4th edition. There's a lot of things that I've taken from it. It's the edition that really kind of got me back into the game after being away from it for quite a long time. In 4th edition, the idea of attunement came with things known as artifacts. Artifacts are big-time magical items. We're talking about the Rod of 7 Parts, the Eye of Vecna, these kinds of, almost world-changing items. In 5e, it's become a little bit of a way to control how many magical items a particular character can gather. And honestly, a lot of it is about how useful that item can be for the party rather than for the individual. So, there are, for example, class restrictions on certain magical items. So only the cleric can use this item, for example, and they have to attune to it. Now, that item is probably going to be beneficial for the whole party, but the fact that it's restricted to the cleric makes that class a little bit special in a way. But like I say, it still benefits the whole party. So why limit magic items? Well, here's an example. The Headband of Intellect is an uncommon item that requires attunement. It basically gives you an intelligence of 19 regardless of what your intelligence was. So for a low-level wizard, this is a brilliant magical item. For a high-level wizard, maybe not. You don't want every single character in the party to have an intelligence of 19. Otherwise, they're all going to ask to do history rolls and religion checks, and it's going to become the focus of the party if every single member has that Headband of Intellect. And the idea that you could technically have one and then pass it around makes it, lose some of its specialness in a way. So again, with a wizard, for example, say you've got the Headband of Intellect, you've got the Cloak of Protection, and let's say you've got the Amulet of Health, and you find a Wand of Fireballs. Which of those 3 very, very useful items for you as a wizard are you willing to give up in order to take this Wand of Fireballs? I feel like the attunement rules as written are, fairly well balanced. I have never, as a player nor as a DM, really come up against this and felt that it was restricting. However, that might tell you a lot about the kinds of games that I like playing in, which you might say low magic. At least in the lower levels. The one area that I do have trouble with, though, is in awarding magical items, whether it's through loot or which are available to purchase. I'm a big fan of random tables, but then you can get a situation where somebody rolls something which would be really, really helpful for a barbarian, but your character is a sorcerer, and I know that feels a little unfair. I have started asking my players for a wish list of magical items. Now, this can be as, low as, well, look, I'd like a +1 shield and a ring of protection. Or it could be a massive list of magical items that might include something like the deck of many things. Now, what that does for me is it allows me to kind of, okay, the mundane stuff, maybe they can find it at a shop. Maybe, some dungeon has something that might be on one of their wish lists, and then they can kind of fight over it. But it also means that I can actually mold a storyline and adventure around one of these kind of bigger magical items. And I like that idea. Essentially, the rules for magical items and attunement are a way to make things balanced. And that's a word you often hear with game design. Thank you so much for watching. As always, like, subscribe, leave us a comment down below. How do you award magical items? I'd be really interested to hear from other dungeon masters as to their preferred method. Do you tend to play in a kind of low magic or high magic kind of campaign? Let us know. As always, thank you so much, and keep slaying. If you've enjoyed this content, then please smash that like button, subscribe, share this around online, and come and visit our website, www.lavictoriaproductions.com, to see all our past episodes, as well as our blog posts and all the stuff that we're currently working on at La Victoria Productions. Why not reach out to us and tell us what you think of our videos? You can reach us on Twitter. @MouthLaVictoria is our producer. We are also on Instagram. I am EnanoLVP, and our producer is Jazzy J. Cherot. We're also La Victoria Productions on Facebook and LinkedIn. Come on by and let us know what you think.